Hi, we're at the seafront at Oban in Scotland, and this is a place that is renowned for its black guillemots. There's two places renowned for them really. Portpatrick in Dumfries and Galloway is the other one. But this I think is better photographically. They're right down here, they're extremely tame. I was sitting on a boat ramp earlier on this morning and a pair climbed up on the boat ramp and ended up being about 5 feet away from me, and then they mated. But at 5 feet, you can't really photograph them, they're too close. They nest in the sea wall here in some drainage holes, and this morning there's about 20 birds here about 8 o'clock, and they fly up to those drainage holes from time to time, and when they're feeding young, they'll be flying backwards and forwards a lot, and this will be the perfect spot to stand to get flight shots of black guillemots. The black guillemot is my favourite hawk. For most people it's the puffin, but I prefer this lovely black and white bird. They're a very gregarious species, so there's a lot of behaviour going on as the birds react to each other. It makes them interesting. Now I have a problem because for the first time I'm using a Nikon Z8 camera, and I have what is known in the trade as an operator error. Unfortunately, having just arrived at the hotel, I find that someone has forgot to pack the battery charger for the Nikon Z8. Now, why do you need a battery charger? None of my other gear has a battery charger anymore. You charge the battery up in situ in the camera, just plug the USB lead straight in. It's the same for my Lumix camera, the OM cameras, the DJI Pocket, which I'm filming myself with at the moment, my GoPro cameras, even my drone. You don't have to have a battery charger, but you do for the Nikon. You can actually charge it in situ, but it needs some special adapter. I don't really understand this yet. I haven't got to the bottom of it. It even talks about the USB lead has to have power delivery capabilities. I've never come across this with a USB lead before. Anyway, I've tried to charge it in situ. I've got various adapters such as these, which you just plug a USB lead straight into, but that doesn't work. The charge light doesn't come on. So I'm a bit stuck really. So what's the first thing you do in a situation like this? Well, you empty the suitcases. There's 2 suitcases, 2 camera bags, one at a time, tip everything onto the bed and go through it very thoroughly, just in case that battery charger's got stuck in some nook or cranny in there. Is there a camera shop in Oban? Not very likely, it's a very small town. But you get on your mobile phone and you Google camera shop Oban, and indeed there is. They don't have a website, but they have a Facebook page, and it looks like a proper camera shop, not just a print place that sells a few frames and camera straps, etc. So that's got to be the first step. I'm going to try the camera shop. The chance of them having something that can charge a Nikon Z8 is almost zero again. So that's it, plan A. That's where we'll be tomorrow morning. Try the shop. For now, something far more important. Got to get something to eat. Well, eating is obviously very good for the brain, because while I was in the restaurant I had another brilliant idea. I could order a battery charger off either eBay or Amazon and get it delivered up here to Oban or the next destination we're going to. Well, I went onto eBay, and there are usually sellers who are doing express delivery, but there weren't any. In fact, there was all Chinese sellers, so it's going to take quite a long time. But on Amazon, where I don't normally shop on Amazon, for an extra, I think it's about £6, I can have it delivered tomorrow to a shop in Oban that does this parcel deposit and collection, parcel drop off and collection, and so long as I get my order in before midnight. Now that's an incredible service. Will it work? I'm about to find out. I'm going to go to the shop anyway in the morning, but I'm not optimistic about the shop. But I have now ordered a battery charger and it should be here tomorrow. Hello, I'm sure I'm wasting my time, but I've left home without packing my charger for a Nikon Z8, and I don't suppose you'd have anything that would charge a Nikon Z8. Oh yes, we do. I was very wrong. They had 2 chargers for a Z8. In fact, they're universal chargers. They will charge any battery, which can't quite be right. It's adjustable,
lengthwise and widthwise. Now here's the battery. That's the sort of contact you've got. You've got these two sliders here on the side. You've got to line them up with the two outer slots and press it in and then plug it in. So it's obviously not working. I think I just haven't pressed it home firmly enough. That's it. And now it's charging. As simple as that. And it was only about £25. And what happened to the Amazon order?
Well, although it was a brilliant service that Amazon were advertising, it didn't work out. The next day there was no update to the tracking whatsoever, and in fact after 3 days there was no update to the tracking. It hadn't even been posted. So I cancelled the order, which was very simple to do. Within a couple of minutes I had a confirmation, I got my money back.
So with the battery crisis solved, it's back to the black guillemots. There's a number of access points you can get down close to the water, and that's always important. I like to be at water level when I'm photographing. Don't want to be looking down at the birds. I didn't have the best of light, and it was really too early in the season for lots of flight shots. When they're feeding young, which will probably be in May, they'll be flying backwards and forwards a lot more often. Like puffins, they're very prone to flapping their wings, something they do every 10 minutes or so. There was lots of behaviour going on between the birds, and you could see that there was pairs as well. They'd matched themselves up. And from time to time they did fly up to those drain pipes where they're going to nest, just to check them out, and perhaps they were egg laying at the time too. This is the boat ramp where I spent most of my time, and you can see there's 4 birds sitting on there, and you can walk down to them. They're not intimidated by you at all. As ever, you go slowly and steadily. You don't want fast, jerky movements. And I would like to have got some better footage of them mating, and I really thought it was about to happen. Assuming that's the male in the background, I think he thought it was going to happen too. All these flight shots are taken with the Nikon Z8. I haven't really had an opportunity to compare it yet against my OM camera. That's the whole idea. I've got it for a couple of months to play around with it and see what I think. But it's very early days. I'm still working out all the settings. But it was doing a good job. It was holding on well. It would be nice to be back there later on in the month of May when there's lots more flight activity going on. And better light, hopefully. I'll show you a few pictures from Port Patrick, which is in Dumfries and Galloway, so not so far north to have to go. Lots of boats in the harbour, but then you get some nice water, coloured water. That's the reflection of a boat. And on one occasion we asked the harbour master if we could borrow his rowing boat, and he said yes, so long as you put some money in the Lifeboat Society's donation box. And that allowed us to get right down to water level with the birds. Very important for photography. And this is my favourite location that I've been to so far for this species, Copinsay Island off the Orkneys. It's an uninhabited island and you have to get a boat trip across to it, but the settings were spectacular. Thanks for watching.